Welcome to Love, Lust, Betrayal. Before we start the story, please subscribe and press the bell icon. Let's dive into story. In a moment steeped in irony, I presented my wife with the divorce papers, the clatter of silverware and the gentle hum of conversation enveloping us like a distant echo of normalcy. With a wry smile, I extended a sarcastic thank you to her companion, whose presence had somehow managed to ease the weight of my burden. If only slightly, the gesture ensnared them in a delicate web of embarrassment, a moment that lingered in the atmosphere like an unwelcome guest, refusing to take its leave. Greetings, esteemed members of Reddit. In that fleeting instant, I found myself standing at a pivotal juncture in my comprehension, the burden of my own missteps bearing down upon me with an inescapable intensity. 6 months ago, I found myself standing at the precipice of despair, grappling with a revelation that shattered my world. My wife, Ashley, was entangled in an affair with a man named Derek. After a decade of lives woven together, the joyous laughter of 2 children echoing through their abode, and the weighty responsibility of a mortgage pressing down upon them, one might assume she would have cultivated the poise necessary to uphold a mask of restraint. In a fleeting moment of unguarded honesty, she revealed the stark imperfections woven into the fabric of her choices. It began with the faintest whispers of change, the endless hours she poured into her work, the fervent bond she forged with her phone, and the delicate shift in her demeanor, as though I had faded from a beloved companion into a mere footnote in the narrative of her existence. First, I persuaded myself that I was merely a casualty of my own thoughts, perhaps succumbing to the suffocating embrace of paranoia. Yet, as she reveled in the soothing embrace of the water, an unexpected message flickered to life on her phone screen, delivering a revelation that demanded her undivided attention. Derek's message arrived, rich with implications that transcended the mundane exchanges typical among friends. Hinting at depths of thought and emotion yet to be explored, I embraced the stillness, permitting the moment to stretch and weave itself into the hidden recesses of my thoughts. Should she decide to tread the perilous road of treachery, I vowed in the quiet corners of my mind that I would ultimately emerge victorious, savoring the sweet taste of triumph. Thus, I embarked on my vigil, my heart brimming with an eager sense of wonder. With each passing moment, I found myself increasingly attuned to the cadence of her existence. Each Thursday, she would declare her intentions to gather with the girls. Yet inevitably, she found herself at that delightful Italian restaurant nestled in the heart of the city, laughter spilling from her lips as she intertwined her fingers with Derek's, the vows she once cherished dissolving into distant whispers. Her attempts to conceal it with such nonchalance were nearly comical. In that fleeting instant, a resolute decision took root within me. I would present her with the divorce papers. Yet, I was acutely aware that this act must unfold in a manner far removed from the mundane. My intention was to craft a moment that would linger in her memory, a treasure she would carry with her always. I made my selection, a THD. On Thursday, I meticulously orchestrated the arrival of a process server, a true connoisseur of theatrics, and subsequently secured a reservation for dinner at a table that was delightfully near theirs for that very evening. As I stepped into the room, adorned in my finest, a wave of confidence washed over me, infusing every action with a vibrant energy. The server guided me to my table, and as I settled into my seat, a thrill of eager anticipation coursed through me, preparing me for the unfolding moments that lay ahead. Moments later, the door swung open, and Ashley stepped into the room, her presence commanding attention. She embodied a breathtaking blend of brilliance and grace, her smile illuminating the space with a warmth that had been absent for far too long. Derek trailed just a step behind her, his presence a silent shadow in her wake, as I watched their easy demeanor, a striking juxtaposition to the clandestine dance unfolding just beyond my view. A soft laugh escaped my lips. I bestowed upon them the liberty to seek their own solace, to carve their own paths, and to engage in the playful exchanges that frequently blossom in such settings. I subtly gestured to the process server, a man named Joe, who strode with determination toward their table, a sizable envelope firmly grasped in his hand. With a commanding presence, he proclaimed, "Ashley Carter," his voice resonating through the air, ensuring that every ear in the vicinity caught the weight of his words. Ashley's brow knitted in perplexity, her expression a tapestry of confusion that spoke volumes without uttering a single word. A fleeting shadow of irritation flickered across her features as the truth began to unfurl before her, like a delicate flower opening to the dawn. With a steady hand, Joe set the envelope before her, the soft thud resonating like the last chord of a grand symphony, lingering in the air with an undeniable weight. At last, the moment descended upon you, cloaked in the weighty veil of fate. The divorce papers sprawled before you, a stark reminder of the disintegration of a once vibrant union, a tender message from your cherished companion. At long last, the moment arrived for me to seize the reins of my fate. I rose from my seat, my grip firm around the glass, and pivoted to confront the two of them. Resolve etched upon my features, Derek, my heart swells with gratitude for you, and I wish to convey my sincerest thanks, wrapping it in all the warmth I can gather. I raised my glass in a jubilant toast, savoring the sweet release of shedding this weight from my shoulders. My dear friend, she has become yours. The path that lies before you is now etched in permanence. The restaurant exuded a serene tranquility, creating an atmosphere where the very essence of time seemed to stand still. In a heartbeat, Ashley's face transformed, confusion giving way to a profound fear that enveloped her like a shroud. Catching her off guard in an instant, Derek, that unbearable rogue, bore an expression that hinted at a desperate desire to disappear into the shadows lurking beneath the table's edge. A murmur slithered through the throng, entwined with a delicate, derisive chuckle that reverberated in the electric air. Ashley parted her lips, the unvoiced words poised delicately on the brink of release. Yet I held her back, preventing the sound from escaping into the air. I placed a small stack of bills upon the table, and in that moment, Joe and I shared a wordless agreement, a bond forged in the quietude of our surroundings. With that, I ventured forth into the vast expanse of the world that lay beyond. A sudden wave of lightness enveloped me, a sensation long forgotten, as though the burdens of existence had at last been cast aside, leaving my shoulders unencumbered and free. In that ephemeral instant, it seemed as though my burdens had vanished into the ether, leaving behind a lightness that was almost surreal. The dinner unfolded like a masterpiece, each moment more exquisite than the last, forever etched in my memory.